Good morning. I got to unmute my mic. How's it going? It's been since Monday morning because my camera's over here and I'm looking over here. Whatever. Yeah, because I got a bad headache on Monday night, and then but I'm back. I've been doing some stuff, not a lot of stuff. Monday was pretty productive. Got some stuff with requirements done, or not requirements, but like documenting the protocol done. Tuesday, not a lot got done. Was running around getting my visa sorted out for Rust China Conf. That's fun. But done, hopefully. So yeah, we have some diagrams and stuff. Let me pull up chat. Yeah, so let's see. What do we got? This week has been mostly focused on documenting stuff, again, but kind of in a more interactive spec kind of way. So let me actually... let's see. If I do a doc features open... important wife text. If we have doc features open, then what did I do with this? Did it give me this window? Oh, it did. It's just over here. So now there's a conformance module. And so far I've only started with the net stack, but let's look at what I wrote. And let's make this page width because there's no reason. Well, maybe. Okay, there's maybe a reason not to. So I started with the, like, what a net stack send looks like from a flowcharty kind of way, just because I've done this in some other places in the code, and I kind of like this. And so this is what, like, a non-error, and when I say non-error, I mean, like, not a knack or protocol error. This is what, like, the flow looks like, more or less. And so if the destination's a broadcast message, then we figure out yes or no. If it is, we offer it to all the sockets, we offer it to all the profiles, and then if anyone said yes, then we return a success. If everyone said, I have nothing for that, then it returns an error. If it's unicast, it's a little more complicated. We say, like, is the destination address specifically, like, 00, which means local? I should get rid of this :0, because it's not just :0, it's a 0.0 star. Let me pull that up. I'll just fix that now. I need to fix it here. And then in the docs, this is something else. Okay, so now we can refresh. Boom, fixed. So is it like a specifically local address? If it is, we go straight to offering it to sockets. We don't even offer it to the profile. If it's not 00, we offer it to the profile first. If the profile says, yes, that's for me, thanks, then we're done. If it says, no, something's horrifically wrong, but kind of the implicit here is, yes, this is still for me, but something has gone wrong. So, for example, that was for me, but my interface is full now. Then we're done. Or the profile can say, hey, actually, this is for us. So, for example, if our address is like 10.2, if the destination was 10.2, well, we'd go, well, that's not 00, so I'm going to offer it to the profile. And since the profile is the only thing that knows what our local addresses are, like, it's the keeper of that information because it keeps the external interfaces. If it says, actually, that is us, like 10.2 is us, which we could remember. We don't right now. We'll just keep asking the profile over and over. Then we go, oh, okay, cool. And we offer it to the sockets, and we try and find one. If one of them says yes, it's a success. If all of them say no, then it's an error. So I kind of try and write this up in prose. I don't know. I don't know if it makes on one hand, I don't love duplicating this, but on the other hand, I couldn't get all of this I couldn't get all this information into a succinct graph. There's some stuff that's like a little squishy here. For example, the docs talk about the any-all appendix and stuff like that, which this doesn't attempt to handle. And then I've written some tests. Alexandra had a good idea. Right now I have this kind of funky macro that we talked about before where I kind of generate test cases. Alexandra had a good point that it would probably be good to actually move this up a level, something like this, and generate a test function for each of these, because then someday if these start failing, instead of just like bomb this giant test failed, then and it failed inside of this macro and we have no idea what's going on, at least we should probably come up with a test name for each of these, and I think that's a really good idea. So I'm probably going to do at least that. I'm still not entirely sure whether I love the idea of generating a lot of these tests, but it seems reasonable because there's a lot of like repeated boilerplate, because a lot of cases it's just like put the message in the queue, feed it into the feed it in, and then run it. So this is just a lot of plumbing to say, like, it's almost a scripting language. Like, I almost need a scripting language for this kind of, or a DSL or something. I mean, I guess this is kind of a DSL, but my TDD training says many small tests good. Yeah, I could live with that. And then if we want to write something more like involved, like do this, then this, then this, but the net stack is currently stateless. Well, I mean, like in this case where we don't have any sockets, so like we can go look at the inner of the net stack is where the important stuff happens. Actually, the stateful thing is we have a list of sockets. We have our profile. Our sequence number does increment. And then our port assignment is stateful, but like nothing with dispatching messages. Like if we say, okay, we have a set number of ports open, we have the profile is set for what it is, we don't allocate any ports, we don't change our number of sockets, then it means that tests are generally deterministic. Like you can see that there's no mention of like check state in here. It's kind of cheating because the profile is expected to keep state. Like profiles will have state, but we control that in tests. And then when we test the profile, we'll need to like deal with their statefulness because different profiles have different statefulness. But that's a profile problem, not a net stack problem. So at least for testing the net stack, hopefully this is fairly deterministic. Same with sockets. Sockets are fairly stateless, except for they are like a queue of packets that they've received. So basically the only state they have is how many packets have I received and stuff like that. Although technically I think they could have more state, but they don't currently. But yeah, I don't know. I also went on a huge I don't know, it's not a rant. It's one of the things that I do. Let's not bring up my entire blue sky. It's something that I do when I like don't quite have enough opinion for a blog post or enough structure for a blog post. Is just like vomit a thread of blue sky posts. But it's basically like I was given a chat with someone recently who was moving into a more safety critical area. So they were kind of like looking for some of the high level basics, and kind of the thing that I kept repeating was a lot of safety criticals just say what you're going to do, say how you're going to do it, do what you said you were going to do and how you were going to do it, and then prove you did what you said you were going to do, how you said you were going to do it. And if you listen to SDR stuff, this is the traceability episode, basically. But yeah, just being annoyed that there's no easy way to do cross-document linking, both just for, like, jumping around, and for, like, attaching metadata to those links for things like, hey, this link satisfies this constraint or whatever. Like, this is one of those things that I would love to have for unsafe code. I would love to have for spec work like this. Like, I would love to be able to put like an anchor, like in the same way that we have like these anchors in here. I would love to be able to put a little non-obtrusive one at each of these shalls, basically. And then when I'm writing the test, like if this got the ID like 12.2.4 whatever, or 12345, that when I write a test like this, that I can just include the like an array of tags here and be able to, like, when I'm looking at this code, like I would love to be able to click a link, or even using like an LSP, like jump to definition of that and jump back and forth between those, and then be able to audit that at review time. Because, like, why not? Like, hyperlinks are a solved thing. How do we get hyperlinks in an editor, and then how do we attach metadata to hyperlinks is basically what this rant is. And the fact is, like, this is not bad. Like, I kind of like this of doing the specification. Like, you can tell that I've been doing stuff with the book and the conformance and stuff in the repo in RustDoc, because being able to put the docs next to tests or code and doc tests and stuff like that, I think is good, because you don't need to link because they're next to each other necessarily. But we don't have a solution for, like, what if I really wanted to document this all in one place and have the implement, like, how do I link this to the profile? Because, like, this is the code where all of that actually happens. So for example, like, if I go find the send, Sentai. Let's look at Sentai. So, like, if we look at this flowchart, we can see, well, one thing I don't check is whether it's a protocol error message, but the first thing we check is this a broadcast message? And it's either unicast or broadcast, and you can see we call either the unicast or the broadcast message. So then, for example, if we go into the unicast function, we can see that it checks local bypass, which is, oh, interesting. This only says the destination adder is local. This actually checks that both source and destination are local. If it is not local bypass, we call the send to the, well, this is called manager because profiles used to be manager, but this should be like send profile. Let me rename that. Okay. Let me rename this to... Yeah, it's the co-location problem for sure. Like, I want hyperlinks, and I want to be able to then, like, when I have hyperlinks, be like, I want to be able to generate a types document, or just a command line report that says, like, you know, here's where we do all of this. So one thing that I might try and do is figure out what, instead of building a whole tool, figure out if there's an interesting way, like, well, let's just do this now. We'll do this on stream. So we'll just watch this. I want to see how Cargo Doc responds in certain cases. So let's go into conformance here, and let's see if I do something like, if I have this. So I can put an empty thing and it doesn't show up as a link. If I put a space in there, does it show up as... So it just shows up as like a non-linked hyperlink. If I do something like this, I can make it an anchor. And this gives me an ID, but I can't really like link back to this. My thought was like, okay, can I do something that's like not incorrect in Markdown? And then refer to this some way where like if I have this as the destination and then I could do something like refers to this or something, or like verifies this or something. I don't know. Basically, can I do something that's not a huge pain in the ass to look at, like if you were just looking at the text? I think there's also like, what is the footnotes? I don't remember what Markdown footnotes look like. Yeah, okay, it's this. But I guess it's complaining that... Okay, so this does work with footnotes, but it also renumbers them like this, which for better or worse, maybe. But I think this also... Anyway, this is maybe. Yeah, I'd be interested in figuring out something, but also I need to like not turn this into my focus right now. Like, because otherwise I'll just go down this and then I won't, you know, I'm already on yaks on yaks on yaks. So, I don't know. If people have ideas, I'm interested in figuring out how to do the cross-linking and stuff like that. I could try out the Mantra project. If anyone wants to try out... what's his name? Manuel at Ferris has a repo called Mantra, which is a traceability tool. I haven't really looked into it. It does some things that I think I like, and it does some things that I don't necessarily know if I like, but it's cool that it exists, and I would be interested in messing around with it. But yeah, I need to reach out to Manuel and maybe the Ferris people. But yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep working on speccing things because I think that's a good use of time. Maybe I'll just focus on making a lot of diagrams first. I'll probably make the changes that Alexandra mentioned to like turn these into top level tests. And then if folks want to help filling in tests or telling me that I'm wrong and correcting the docs, I would love that. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. And it's Wednesday. So... cool. Let me check the repo. Now would be a good time to ask any questions in chat if you have them. Otherwise, I'll wrap up here in a bit. Ooh. Alexandra opened up a PR. I did not see that. Hell yeah. STM32F3 Disco. Cool. How's the 08 executor going? I know there's the whole thing that's going on with it. Excuse me. But yeah. If you want to clean these up, that would be nice, but I'm not gonna block your PR over that. Hell yeah, having a null and a button. Full interactive example. Hell yeah. Okay, so let's look at what we have going on. So this is the Blinky. So we have an LED server that takes an LED and it starts a bounded server that can hold 2 items with the server name of LED. So it starts it, it attaches it, use spawn, or was it serve blocking here? So that blinks, and then here we have a loop that does the request. You're using the new client interface. Hell yeah. True, false. Okay, so that's going to be our blinky example. Use tabs. So here we've got LEDs with direction. So this is our button example. So direction 1, change direction. Current LED and 7. Okay. Okay, so we've got an async function going on here. So we have a bounded server with button. And then we set our current item. And then we have receive and a timeout. If let okay. So if we actually get our item and it's not a timeout, then we set our current LED low and we do a process event. And I have to go figure out what process event is. Okay, so it can either be a single click, a double click, or a hold. That's neat. Otherwise, if we time out, we turn the LED low, and then we wait for another message with timeout. Okay. We have flash. Cool. LED blinker. Cool. Button waiter. So we wait for rising. Oh, interesting. Are these active low or active high? Or I guess they're probably active low, and this is you like setting up to loop. So you do a hold delay, wait for falling edge. If it's an error, then you wait. You might have. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, cool. Do I have a disco? Can I try this out? I have a disco. The question is it somewhere I can put my hands on quickly? Or did I loan it to someone like 5 years ago and I don't actually have it anymore? That would not surprise me. Ooh, is this F4 disco? Okay, so I have an F4 disco, not an F3 disco. I think I had an F3 disco, and I think I lent it to someone way long time ago. Toml formatting in my editor's book. Yeah, I don't have manual toml formatting. All the toml formatting you see is just me manually doing it. Am I saying? Oh, I was saying things. I was looking for my F3 discovery, but I have an F4 discovery, and I think I lent out my F3 discovery to someone a long, long time ago. But if you say it works, then hell yeah. And then you were asking somewhere, maybe in chat, Alexandra, about maybe doing... I was thinking if for the examples, it might be nicer if the folder structure was not per board, but per full example, possibly including multiple boards or stood processes. That way it's easier. I know what fits with what. Though sadly, per package target hasn't merged yet, so I can't be workspaces like we have now. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's the way it is because that's how things get compiled best for CI and stuff like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best layout for projects. I'm open to a change in that. I don't know. It's going to be more of a pain in the ass to compile. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm open to thoughts. If you want to open up a PR on that, I'll probably keep doing what I'm doing right now. But you're right; it could be better in that regard. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna keep working on the conformance stuff. Thank you to everyone in chat and who's hanging out. Actually, let me see if there's. I don't think there's any new discussions. I don't think I saw anything. No, this all looks about the same. Okay, cool. Then I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll keep working on this, and I will talk to you in the evening. Talk to you later.